Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to a not very strange video, but a video that I wanted to do since yesterday. This isn't a review, but it's a review for a book that I read on Wattpad. Now, before we get into that review, first I'd like to give a shout out to another Wattpadder, BrokenTurtle, otherwise known as Joshua Lundberg. I think I'm saying his last name right. He's just starting out on Wattpad, and if you like reading books and you like a poem, then check him out. Like I said, he's just starting out, and from what I read, both the poem and what was there of the book, what he's done so far, very interesting read, I gotta admit. So yeah, check him out. I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, let's get to the review section. Now, what am I reviewing? This is a Swtor fanfiction, and it's done by Cavik96. Yeah, that is his name on here as well. I have to double check. I was like, double check. So which one am I reviewing? You're probably wondering. Well, not really, because it'll be in the title. The Unluckly Lovers, Love Against Fear. Now then, this will be kind of spoilerific, if that is even a word. But, yeah, if you haven't read it, then I suggest you check it out, because it was a very enjoyable read. And if you like listening to music when you read something, I suggest you listen to Never Surrender by Skillet and Anthem of the Angels by Breaking Benjamin, or any other song that fits that kind of theme. So, anyway, The Unluckly Lovers, what is it about? Is about two of Cavik's personal characters on Swtor. I may have butchered this name, but I do apologise, Cavik. Socrates, or Socrates, his Jedi Sage, and his Sith Assassin, Kashira, also known as Darth Imperius. Now then, the fanfiction itself is based within the canon side of Oricon, but it has that fanfiction feel whilst retaining its canon thematic within the game itself. While if you have seen the Oricon storyline, there will be some conversations that will be similar. Like, hold on, let me get to that little section. Meanwhile, Imperial, no. But he does change the scenery around when, hold on, where are you going, boy? Let me pause the video a minute. I found out I went a page too early. When I think it's on one page, it's wrong. So yeah, an example is that, when, Kashira is talking to someone on her ship. They get contact from Darth Maul, but like I said, he changes the scenery. Instead of Kashira going to the Imperial fleet, she's on her ship, and her companions just doing stuff. They're not lifeless. They're just not there for the surroundings. They're speaking to her as if they were of their own, like a best example, of course, is like on Swtor. Instead of you seeing in for example, Andronikos just leaning against one of the computers, he's actually walking and speaking to her. So yeah, the example, when Darth Maul contacts Kashira, he's just like, no time for politics today, my time is short. So you'll get some familiar conversations, but even though it will seem a little bit repetitive, I must admit, what he adds with his fanfiction makes it worth it. And like I said, it is an enjoyable read. Now then, Unluckly Lovers, it isn't, well, I can't really say that, because like I said, it's spoiler. Now, the title may seem like it's a romance, and while I admit it was a romance when I went in, it didn't have that feel until towards the end, but the ending was satisfying. It wasn't like a forced love. It was like a love that I expected to happen. So and if you are a Swtor player, which I'd be surprised if you're not, this should seem familiar. Like I said, it's going to be kind of spoilerific. Like, for example, what's the best example I can think of? Jedi Knight and Kira Carson. When they're traveling and all, you'd like your own separate missions. Like, you speak to her, and you have that little flirtatious thing. But it's only like when you defeat. I could be wrong. I think it's after you meet her brother, quote unquote, or after you go to see the council, and then your relationship starts. So a few planets would take like a couple of time. Like, it would take a few good hours to do. So like, it's love starting from nothing and then rising into something, and this is the perfect portray for something like that. So anyway. Now then, how does Socrates and Kashira come into play? Like I said, they're on Oricon, and like I said, they have that familiarities with the quests and the bases. But it is changed, like I said, with FanFiction. With Darth Imperius rising, going down to speaking to Hagred, I think that's his name, and Rictus's little sadistic pawn. Talking, and then you find out that you need to reinforce your line. So of course, as we know, we go to get some Republic soldiers, but instead of Kashira doing it herself, it is instead Shara and Ken. Now that was very interesting because like I said, when the way it was going, I was expecting it's going to be Kashira, but I was like, oh no, it's a Shara and Ken. Okay, fair enough. Rule out, you're going that way. And then through Shara, the alliance was basically formed because when Socrates was doing his mission, like that was canon for the Republic side, something FanFiction happened. Now it isn't all written word for word with the canon, like for an example, if like for the Empire side, when you're going to the pods, it's not like saying like Kashira goes to one pod, sees blah 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 so and so, goes to the second pod, sees blah blah so and so, fourth, third, and fifth. It tells you what happens, and then it moves on from that, and then yeah. So yeah, what else? Oh yeah, the meeting. Socrates sees a Shara, and then he's just like, hang on, I know her. And then Cavik added that Shara and Socrates knew each other from from their times as Jedi Padawans, and we learn a little bit about Socrates when Shara tells I skipped ahead. I always do that. And then when they're speaking, and Socrates and Ashara, she calls up Kashira, and I can't remember off the top of my head. No, I might as well. Won't say that just in case I am wrong. Anyway, they start talking, and then they think about forming an alliance, but not from there straight off. It is hinted and suggested that they should form an alliance to make things better, like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, as it were. And then Kashira's is like, oh, what do you know about Socrates? Can he be trusted? And then she's like, tells him about him. We get to know about Socrates and his past without having technically an in-depth past story, but what was told was enough to find out his character. So, what Socrates was like, and the hardships that he endured, shall we say. You see the similarities with the Inquisitor and the Sage. Even if the Sage didn't go through a past hardship, he added something into. Like I said, he added FanFiction into the canon. Anyway, the alliance. That was very interesting. Like, different personalities, but at the same time they were the same. For an example I can give, Kem and Quaison, both warriors, one believes in honor and one doesn't believe in weakness, like kill and kill, and that's what Kem knows. And there's like these little arguments, and they split into groups to sort out the other missions, like the tentacles, the what is it? You know, that little machine structure with the purple light shooting into another purple light, something like that. And yeah, they split up into two groups, and from what I was reading, like there was 3 types of groups, and yes, crap names, I know. The good group, the bad group, and the neutral group. Now, I'm not going to say much about that, but if that was intended, that was really well done. But if it wasn't, like, a lot of people have that accidental intention when it comes to stuff. I mean, I know personally when it, not writing, more so, like, with, like, I know this is a poor example, but A and Bs. Especially yesterday with that mother trucking beat. Oh! So, yeah. Moving on from that, there is tension between them, but they learn a little bit about each other through battle, and then each respecting leader asks, oh, like, what did you think about this person, and so, and then it was like, oh, yeah, know about that. So, yeah. Like I said, the story does go through the Oricon missions, but don't let that discourage you. Now then, I will say this. When we get into the grand finale, and this isn't a spoiler, because I did say whilst going in that it goes through the Oricon canon mission, so so this should have been anticipated. Even though I did say spoilerific, but regardless. He deals with the Dread Council, and he does deal... Oh yeah, I forgot. He does deal with Styrax at the beginning. Now then, the battles written aren't... They are in depth, but they're not an extension, so to speak. Cavik felt that he didn't have that type of... didn't go into too much depth with it. Now, while I can see where he's coming from, at the same time I can't. Now, going into this, it was easy to read and like imagine what was happening through the writing, because use Styrax as an example. I watched I think either Left or Duffy. I don't think Left did battle Styrax. I could be wrong, but either way, I think the writing, the style of the battles was intended for the people who have obviously participated in the raid itself and see the tactics and what Styrax can do firsthand. So yeah, it's leaning towards that type of audience. But if you're a person who hasn't seen someone play through the operations that he's writing about, or partaken in them yourself, then you may get you may feel like it's rushed, but in reality it technically isn't. But if you are coming into this and you have participated and seen and you feel it's rushed, then that is a big surprise, and I don't see why that should be. If that's the case, no offense, you don't really have an imagination. So yeah, like I said, canon added with the fanfiction. The fanfiction added was perfection. You may think that I'm like on the Cavik bandwagon, like I will always say that, but for like stuff, you know, like Maggie Sword Online. But that aside, it was very good. There was a lot of stuff where I was expecting for them to move on from, that something else happened at the end of something that I expected to end. I was like, what is this? What's going on? And I was just like, oh no. So yeah, it was kind of spoilery, but with this review, but at the same time I didn't want to spoil that much. I do think that you should read this yourself. It is a very enjoyable read, and he does plan to do more for these two characters in the future. And yeah. Oh, I will say this about Socrates and Kashira. While it's obvious that Kashira went good, and depending on what other choices he did is his is his knowledge alone, and same with Socrates, like, good, but if he made a dark side choice along the way, then that's his decision alone to make. Reading this, they weren't, well, actually, the Inquisitives and the goody-goody two-shoes, whether being good, is to me, he's neutral, even if he isn't neutral. Or she, for this case. Socrates, to me, didn't seem like he was a goody two-shoes, and I didn't have that goody two-shoes feel with the most of the other Jedis within the game and others, you know. He was very normal. He was very good Sith, but he wasn't like, you know, bad to the point that he can be compared to a Sith itself, you know. So yeah, if I had to rate this, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. But like I said, you should really read it yourself. Links will be in the description to The Unlikely Lovers. And also a link to, I forgot the name! BrokenTurtles! So yeah, kind of a strange video. I wanted to do this since yesterday. So yeah. Good day. This review was, well, this Wattpad review was kind of a one-off. I may do another one if Cavik, or for Cavik in the future, but yeah, I might not do though, but I would only do it for like if the story was completed. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the review, and Cavik, I hope I did your book justice. So yeah, good day.